Good morning, everybody. This is Kula Dula from RawStocks. We have another edition of our pre-market prep. The S&P to 6,500 and NVDA is going to drop, or they're going to rise. We're going to get into it. Earnings came in good for NVIDIA, but had investors shook with a little drop of the data center sales. We've got a lot to go over. We'll get into it right now. All right, so first thing first, let's go over. Let's see. Let's pull this. Give me a second. My bad. All right, let me close that one. And where did my calendar? Okay, here it is. Got too many screens. Okay. So this morning we had prelim GDP. So this is just a preliminary report. A lot of times these get revised. Not necessarily revised, but there's drastic changes by the time this quarter report closes. So as of right now, super bullish. I'm curious to see where the actual GDP closes, where the quarter closes. But everything about today screams bullish. There's not a thing on here that doesn't say bullish. Okay. There's a couple different reports here. Core PCE prices, Q2, right in line. Corporate profits up. GDP up on all aspects. Or in line. Let's just say that in line right here. So nothing wrong with this report. Some could say that PCE prices are down, and that's bad. Now, real consumer spending, this is a big one right here. This is what people really want to see. This one and this one go hand in hand, but realistically, this is something interesting to see. And I'm honestly a little surprised by it. I'm a little surprised by it. Okay, so as far as trading today, know that the 4-week, 8-week bill auction will definitely have a little bit of a shakeup in the market at 10:30. But prior to that, we'll have some pending home sales right there at 9 o'clock. That's going to be something that they can utilize it if it's really bad. If it's really, really bad, they can utilize it. Otherwise, it's not a huge mover unless you're playing some type of home builder stocks or something like that, or the home builder sector, something along those lines. But okay, so that covers those. Let's talk about our sponsors real quick. Black Box Stocks and GammaEdge. Both of those guys are the best. They share everything with us, so we are able to share that with you guys. If we didn't have the partnership with them, we would not be able to provide this to you every single day. So make sure you show support. Go try them out. Go try the free trial. If you don't like the free trial, then whatever. But at least go try it out. It's in my link. It's in my bio. Make sure you use that one. It supports me, supports them. And yeah. Okay, so what do we got? So we had the high yesterday broken. We'll leave that up. Yesterday's high is not important here. But we will mark yesterday's low. And we will mark yesterday's open. These are areas that we need to know about. I don't think that matters about the high. I think as we press up in that range, 6,500 becomes your key level here that you need to be focusing on the S&P. Now, this normally looks like some level of breakout, right? I think this has a high level of probability of breaking down or consolidating. I know a lot of people are looking for that big extension here past 6,500. I don't think we're going to get it. I think we're going to find ourselves chopping. We'll probably find ourselves in another little wedge, and we'll probably find ourselves dropping, at least retesting into the 6,400 area, and see what happens at that point. But right now, everything says bullish. Everything points to the top, but there is a massive wall here at 6,500, and we're going to talk about it now. So, full complex here. you can see 6,500 has a massive call wall here. 6,600 is growing on the S&P. However, you must get over the top of 6,500, and that's probably not going to happen for this quarter, which means not this week. You might see it past this, but I don't think you're going to find us moving past the 6,500 wall this month. I would be curious to see if we see some larger move past this month, but as of right now, I think 6,500 is going to cap us out. We'll probably find ourselves chopping around there. So as of today, we see, let me just clarify something real quick on full complex. So we have a very much a pivotal point here at 6,500 to 6,505 on the full complex. Realistically, you know, you could say that your transitional area is down here towards that 6450 area. So if we lose that, then it's more unlikely that we visit 6410 and 6400. But for me, I think this is your pivot, right? Right at 6,500 to 6,505. Just know that. All right, let's look at our day trading chart. So I went ahead and made these changes for the day. 6,500 to the upside is our supply here. You can see we have our ceiling set kind of at 6,500 right now. Floor set at 6,450. Transitional area at 6,470 to 6,465. And it's weak down there. It's really weak. So if this moves, it's probably, and it's going to break down, it's probably going to end up finding itself down towards that 6,450 area. This is not a super strong support right here if we sell down. I know it has been, but I do not find this to be as strong as, say, like 6,420 down here. Okay, I do not find that to be as strong. So 6,440, 6,450. These are pretty decent areas, but we do know that the wall right now is set up at 6,450. We just got to know that this is likely to be our pivot point here for the market moving forward. Okay, so our gamma wall stands right here at 6,500. I'm going to put this a little bit above this. It's buy the dip territory until it's not. Okay, it's buy the dip territory till it's not. SPY does show some confluence in regards to what we're seeing. Let's move this over. Let me speed this along. Full complex here is call dominated gamma conditions. 6,500 to the upside, 635 to the low side. Transitional area is at that 644 to 643 area. I think that's probably pretty fair, considering that's about the low of the profile for the S&P or the SPX. So looking at this, 6,500 doesn't line up with 6,500. Excuse me, 650 doesn't line up with 6,500. This is more so like 6,520. Okay. So you need to know that with this being here, if we break through 6,500, that 6,520 area, which is the equivalent virtually of 650 on SPY, is generally your next area of resistance. So you watch that whole 20-point little area there on the S&P. We're currently opening right near this high. I think there's a high level chance today that we open, we press, and then we fall down. Okay. I think there's a high level chance that this happens. So with Microsoft, for example, I do find that, we're at 508. We're in some 507.5 calls, looking for this to press towards 510. So this is what we were looking for. Will we see continuation past that? Maybe, but realistically, I'm looking for things to just have a little pop and then see if we sell down. So a strong move up, maybe a 2 to 3 minute carry there, and then a fall down from there. So watch this move, something like this, right? We open, we drive towards 6,500, and then we sell. And we're going to retest yesterday's high, and then we'll probably go and visit back down towards The gap close, which is right here at 64.80. But I think, we obviously know that the target is down in this range for our positive gamma support. So we'd watch for this to be a potential target right here. Okay. At that point, I think we could recover and go test yesterday's high or potentially make our way back up to 6,500. That would not surprise me one bit. You also need to take in consideration that you can find a bounce off of the low as we open here. This will be our open and yesterday's high. If we get rejected off 6,500, know that this is also a potential play here. I don't think that we're going to get just a straight squeeze through 6,500. Even with the GDP, everything lined up, I think there's going to be some risk off some risk being taken off, excuse me, at this range. However, if we do find ourselves really kind of chopping here for a while, I think that you need to be cautious for some type of liquidity draw to the downside and then watch for us to punch through. So always know when you are trying to short this that everything is screaming bullish to try to punch through. You're relying on the fact that the position is too big and you're trying to get this to hold up here. Okay. All right. So let's move to NVIDIA. NVIDIA dropped to, let's go to extended hours. So we saw this drop down all the way to 170. I talked about it on X. I said if it makes its way down towards 170, buy it, because there's no way it's going to press down below it, especially before the earnings call. And then that's what happened. It virtually rose back up over to 175, 176. And then this morning it's pressed its way back towards 180. What is it going to do now? Well, let's pull the data, kind of see how people are positioned into earnings, how dealers are looking to contain this, as most of it's going to be dead this morning anyways. All right, so full complex, we still remain call dominated. People are very bullish on this, super large bullish positions down in this here at 170 area. Looks like a ton of puts being sold there, cash secured puts, and a lot of calls there as well. But I don't think it'll go below there. But if it does sell off, that would most likely be your target. 185 to the upside, 175 to the downside based on our GEX profile here. So that doesn't change. That does not change. 185 still remains a ceiling. Your transitional area at 180 now. So watch 180 area, 177 and your 177 and a half to be your shelf. And your floor stays at 170. Okay. So this is the setup. So you can stay long over 180. Breaks below 180. You need to be cautious as it can potentially slip all the way down towards 170. Bull's last stand at 177 and a half. And then once we drop below this, you can always watch for them to target these lows, right? I don't know why it keeps doing that. Let's turn that off. You can watch for it to try to swipe these lows, right? And use those as demand areas and to recover over the top of that. So you always have to be cautious of that particular move there, okay? But weakness underneath 177 and a half, driving it towards that 170 area, okay? The full complex has us breaking out towards 200 in the coming weeks. So is this set for that? Potentially. It's realistically, for me, you want to see this IV drop and then hopefully get to that 177 area. And that's where you can look to buy those 200 calls to recover back over there, 177 and a half, and get back over 180 for confirmation for this to potentially have a chance to go up towards 200. Okay. If we break below 177 and a half and we start to see some of the dynamics change, then sure, we can target 170. We could probably target even down to 160. All right. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think what we need to focus on today is your 177 and a half and 180 area. Okay. So your pivot realistically is right here for whether you're bullish or bearish short term on NVIDIA. We're going to go ahead and delete this. Just know that's the case. Tesla, well, sitting right here, smack on 350. So what's to be told? Well, you could say under 350 you're short, and over 350 you're long. Let's take a look at the data and kind of see if the targets have changed at all. Full complex remains 350 as your ceiling. Over the top of 350, you'll see this accelerate faster up towards 360. Your this week ceiling would be 360. So people are targeting back towards 360. That's what we're kind of looking for. See if this thing wants to drive up over 350 again and get towards that 360 level. But if it can't get over the top of 350, I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing start to sink closer to, say, like that 335, 340 zone. Okay. This would not be uncommon, even potentially down towards that 330 demand zone that we have here. Okay. So in regards to this transitional area, 340, this is lower, 342 and a half. I know it's 340, 337 and a half. My bad. 340. Here we go. Okay, so that's what this looks like now. All right. Realistically, I'd be watching that 335 zone really to probably be the low, but based on data, we have to go with 330. That's where it's at. So buying calls here, clearly you know how I am. I do not love the idea of buying up calls up here. If you do buy it, it has to be a really short stop loss, right? It needs to just be right over the top of it and just holding the lows. Wouldn't be surprised though to see this swipe down and a quick recovery over the top. If you do see that move, that is a grade setup for you to get long over 350 and protect that low and see if this thing wants to push back up over the top, targeting yesterday's high and potentially all the way up to 360. Okay. If we say slip this, and then let's say we slip this and we head down towards, say, 340. Don't be surprised to see this thing come back up to 350, but watch out for the sellers to slam that again and try to drive this back down, and you have your little head and shoulders right here. Okay. That is a potential play. All right. So we've covered the S&P, we covered Tesla, and we covered NVIDIA. Today, I don't have a special stock to cover, but that's okay. I think it's going to be enough to just monitor these particular stocks today. So keep an eye on that. We're going to set this up virtually kind of like that, where we're watching the breakdown below here, watching the breakout above this. We're playing both ways. We have a short-term call looking to drive up towards 360, and we have a longer term put, see if this thing wants to return to the bottom side of this range here. Okay. All right. Hey, thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you subscribe and to the channel if you're interested in what we do and visiting and seeing what we do. And come take a look at RawStocksLLC.com. That is RawStocksLLC.com. You can also click the link in my bio, click the link on this video, or in the description if you're watching on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe. We have a $7 7-day for $7 promo going on right now. It's not a subscription. It is solely just a week entry little level tester. It's not a roll into a subscription after the 7 days. It is just 7 days. It is there so you can see that what we do is not garbage, and we have a full-blown system in what we and how we approach the market, and we use these levels to identify proper risk versus reward setup. So, hey, thanks for tuning in. Again, make sure you subscribe and like, and until tomorrow, we'll catch you later.